every week at 7 o'clock on Saturday. So this week too, we are doing something different, out of box, and we are getting people who do something different, something out of box, and are contributing for betterment of society. Today we have something different, and let me share the screen now. Yeah, Madhukar, can you see?
I can see the screen, sir. I can see you.
You can see the screen also.
No, I
Yeah,
can't. Yeah, now
I
I
think.
can see the screen.
Yeah, great. So today on our 13th episode, we bring out a different type of topic called modern Vedic science-based technology for ecological rejuvenation of water, soil, and air. In fact, when we see that everyone is turning to modern science to solve water crisis, and then there is economics. This is modern Vedic science-based technology for ecological rejuvenation of water, soil, and air. Madhukar, frankly, I'm going to ask you about this modern and Vedic. So I think it sounds interesting. Will clarify subsequently as we go in the questions. And this is the only technology on Earth using Vedic science to reinstate the natural ecology without using any machine, filters, chemicals, or biological invasive measures. It makes it more sustainable, viable, effective, and ecological technology on planet. So today we have, without going Mr. Madhukar Swambhu, without going much into the details of the topic, let's hear from him, who has been an IT professional for 25 years and held top executive posts in MNCs. Environment, ecology, Vedic science, Sanskrit, and Indic knowledge have been his passion. And in 2016, he decided to convert his passion into profession. They have restored over 10 standing and flowing water bodies across the country, and cases have been published in leading newspapers and TV channels have covered it in detail during prime time. He has been declared as a water hero by Jal Shakti Mantralaya, and he has been ranked top three authors in global ranking of Spanish Smart Water magazine, and he's been delivering talks on TED and NIFTEN. Gentlemen, viewers, in case you have any questions or any views, you can always post them on chat box. With this, now that's right. Now we come to the so Madhukar, what I realized, in fact, when slide was on, I was not able to see you. So now it is the contact is there. I realized that you have put in around 25 years of IT service. Have
Yes.
been working in IT industry for more than 25 years. And why the shift from IT industry to Vedic ways of doing things? I
Okay.
mean, I and probably the viewers were very keen. Like I've been talking to various people, they're very keen to know your journey to cowonomics, which is in fact India needs it. We need it because we are strong in this area. We are very strong in this field, and we must exploit where we are strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madhu.
Sir, uh, I mean, IT industry has been my profession for 25 years, but uh, the forte was into communication networking, and it just struck my mind way back in 2011. We were just standing outside our office, and we saw one of the cows was eating some polythene or something. So that stuck into our mind that on one hand we say that गाय हमारी माता है, and we have that kind of a status and that kind of a respect for the cow. On the other hand, the cow is forced to eat all that garbage and all. We thought
Yeah, we
that,
see it every day on the roadside. In fact, very sad to see that. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely right.
so that only stuck a kind of a bug into our brain, that we have got some sort of a problem in our sensibility and social logics and all. So that is how the research started. And the first question was that why is cow only holy? And from there, because obviously the answers were not there into the modern science and the uh, books that we were going through, so obviously the answer was lying somewhere in the Vedic scriptures. So that is how the study, the research started. And as it is, I had this thing in as a passion. I used to study it. Fortunately, I was able to understand Sanskrit, so I was able to
Okay.
interpret it in my own way. So that's how the research started. We are a group of 5 guys, and all of them were into communication networking IT field. And this was the offline topic that we used to discuss whenever we were having some time out of the professional commitments. And that is how it all started. We did a research till about 2015, and we were able to get to a solution. That's how we formed this company, Vedic Economics Private Limited. Why it is named Vedic Economics is because we are using Vedic science for linking cow to economics. Now, whenever I say cow to economics, people say that okay, dairy ka business karega, or maybe the most of the guys at Cow Vigilante and then Cow Savers,
Yes,
they say
yes.
that okay, cow dung and cow urine is to be sold. But actually it is not that behind putting the cow on a holy pedestal. The basic reason was cow is the only living being on this planet which has got power to revive the entire ecology in soil, water and air. That is what
Oh,
we understood. And how we are linking it to economics is because the entire economics developed by human beings. Economics is not a god's creation, it is a human creation, right?
yes.
But everything is extracted out of the nature. When your soil, water and air is in its natural condition, then only your economics will come out. Whether you are into paper industry, you are into
Absolutely.
aviation industry, or whether you are into semiconductors or IT business or astrophysics or anything, all economics is coming out of nature only. The natural resources that we have are feeding in all sorts of inputs.
Very
and
interesting.
and whatever we are doing to harm the nature only, right? So we into our economics family, we call it a destructive development. And there is a constructive development also which is possible, that is in absolute harmony with nature. In fact, my TED talk was based on this philosophy only, that there is a difference between constructive and destructive development. In last 400 years, the world has only seen a destructive development. And if you look at India has been a continuous living civilization for last 25,000 years. Now we have documentary as well as the archaeological evidence for this. And why it has been surviving consistently is only because we were living in absolute harmony with nature.
Yes.
So our idea of constructive development is mend your ways to live in absolute harmony with nature. And that's the solution that we have developed, and that is what we're doing.
I mean, Madhukar, in fact, I'm so touched, frankly. Whenever I go and deliver talks in colleges or in the young people, my focus has been to be proud of our own culture, our own heritage, our own history. And here you are proving with logic, with technology, with science. Yes, it is possible, it is happening, and it can happen. I mean, I'm really impressed. That's why I'm so happy that you are there with us on this talk show. And now it comes to the question which I asked you,
Yeah,
that economics is modern Vedic science-based technology to
yeah,
restore ecology.
right.
I mean, I am confused by the term modern
Yeah.
Vedic science. So,
See, I'll just explain the concept, sir. Basically, whenever we say Vedic, what comes into our mind is something ancient and primitive. Why it
yes,
comes is primarily because we had lost the touch somewhere. You can call it Macaulay's education. You can call it the consistent invasion of the country for last 2,500 years.
absolutely,
India
absolutely.
has been the most invaded country on the planet, but there was a reason behind. The problem is into our modern education system, we are not linking our new generation with our roots, right? In last, I mean, just giving you a logical explanation. In last 2,500 years, India has been the only country where the invaders settled, right? So when they settled in this country which they were invading, they actually became an intrinsic part of the culture. And when the culture is accepting a new entity, there are certain changes which will happen with the culture.
Yes,
That is what
yeah.
has naturally happened with India as well.
And
Now,
especially if they are occupational, in fact, they are winner and they are the new
right,
kings.
right.
Yes,
Now, what has happened is India, if you remember the Vedic India, it was the knowledge civilization, right? Now, when a knowledge civilization is accepting the changes, what happened was when there was an invasion, the king or the ruler who had come, he became a divine intervention. You know,
yes.
he is divine, so he should not be asked a question. Now, imagine when, if you remember the Bhagavad Gita during Mahabharat, when uh, Krishna is giving Gita Gyan to Arjun, he kept on asking the questions after questions, even to the God, right? That is how we have 18 chapters in Gita, right? Now,
Oh,
in this culture where we were not even sparing God from asking questions, we had a divine ruler to whom no questions can be asked, right? Now,
hmm.
I remember I never used to ask question to my dad, you know.
Yes, same here.
So it had gone that deep into the society that questions should not be asked. Asking question is a bad practice, and that is how
Yes.
the deterioration happened. That is why when the Gurukul system was abolished and a new system of Macaulay education was introduced in the country, there were no questions asked, right? There were people who protested, but then there were people who supported that as well, right? So that is how our root was disconnected from the younger generation, and we stopped asking questions, right? Now, the problem with the concept of modern Vedic sciences, whenever you say Vedic, what will come into your mind is philosophy, adhyatma, and things like that, right? Whereas the way I look at it, that all our scriptures are pure science. All our traditions have got a scientific reasoning behind, but because the habit of asking question was abolished, that is why we started following the rituals and we forgot the reasoning behind. Now, when you say that okay, there is a science in scripture, then what people get confused with is okay, it would be only about philosophy and spirituality, but actually it is not that. In our scriptures you will find what you are searching for. So if you're searching for philosophy and spirituality, you get that. We were searching for science, so we got science. It's
Hmm.
like if you look at Ayurveda, into Ayurveda, it is all about creating a balance between Vat, Pitta, and Kapha, right? Now, this Ayurveda is a medicine science. Now,
Hmm.
medicine science technically has got nothing to do with ecology, right? But if you look at the factors which generate Vat, Pitta, and Kapha, it is coming out of soil, water, air, fire, and cosmic energy.
Yeah.
So, even our medicine science is 100% ecological. So, if you want to understand life sciences and the natural sciences, I think the best knowledge bank or the database on the planet is Vedic scriptures. And
Yeah,
that is
and
what we meant to.
ultimately, it is like restoring the balance somewhere, whether it
Right,
is in the
right,
body or whether in the nature, wherever some sort of imbalance is there, then the problem occurs. And then, I mean, it's amazing thought and absolutely. And again, I would say that sense of pride, I'm feeling today that kind of sense of pride because it is such a good knowledge you are imparting and is a good learning for me also and for the audience. And like when we talk of, say, your way of doing things, right? So you have mentioned about economics. So people look at it as a commercial angle also. Okay,
right,
why should I get it done? No, what is the additional advantages
right,
are there for your technology in urban and rural landscape compared
right.
to the existing technologies in the market? I mean, people would, anybody who would like to compare. So what's the
Right,
advantage? Why should I go to it?
right.
That's what we thought.
Okay, let me just start from the urban perspective. Now,
Yes.
urban, there are plenty of problems, but there are certain problems which are unsolvable so far, right? Like people don't know what to do with sewage.
Yes.
We are in Delhi. We are struggling with air pollution, and
Yeah.
I'm sure this is a problem. This is not limited to Delhi. It is all across the globe.
Absolutely.
Every city is fighting with air pollution, right?
Yeah.
Now, the third biggest problem is the underground water table, which is depleting consistently, right? Now, these are the three problems for which there is absolutely zero solution, right? Because the way we are dealing with the problems is, uh, you know, there is in allopathy there is something called symptomatic treatment. Now, into
Yes.
symptomatic treatment, it is like if I have a headache, I take a different pill because it is headache. Now if I my eyes start aching, then there is a different pill. Now if there is a pain in the nose, the pill will change. Pain in the throat, the pill will change. Pain in the chest, the pill will change, right? So as the symptom occurs, the dealing with the symptom will change, right?
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is when you are dealing with all the problems in isolation. Now, what
Yes.
is ecology? Ecology is a large domain for which subsets are physics, chemistry, and biology, right? So, if you're
Okay.
approaching to solve the problem with physics, chemistry, and biology, you will only be addressing a smaller portion of a bigger problem.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is why these three problems are never getting solved: the sewage problem, the air pollution, and the depleting underground water table, right? Now I'll tell you how it is linked to ecology and how with one go you can solve all the three problems. What happens is in ecology, just to give you an example, like human body as per Vedic science is considered to be a closed ecology. Now,
Yeah.
how does human body function? I get a thought. Because of the thought is provoking some sort of anger into me, my body chemistry will change. Now, when my body chemistry changes, my hormone secretion from the endocrine gland system will be adrenaline. So that
Yes.
will induce high blood pressure. My heart rate will increase, right? I will get into physical action. Maybe I
Hmm.
hit somebody, right? Then I'll get into a legal problem, right? So So a thought has created a biological change, a physical change, a chemical change,
Chemical
and
change.
maybe a
Yes.
sociological change as well, right? Maybe a
Absolutely.
legal change as well. Now I change the thought. I start thinking of my kid. Now the secretion is oxytocin. My blood pressure is normal. My heart rate is normal. I'm happy. I'll say sorry to the person whom I had hit earlier. Right?
Yeah.
So all problems solved. Now, thought is a software, it is intangible. But physics, chemistry, and biology changed because it is all linked in the ecology, right? Now, when we do a treatment of a water body, what happens is in a water body, the bottom is earth, then we have water, and then we have air. Now, it looks static, but actually, it is not. There is a consistent exchange happening between the water body
Yeah.
and the underground aquifer through soil capillaries. It is linked. So water is going downwards to the aquifer also, water is coming upwards to the surface also, depending upon where the pressure is high. Like if it is raining too much, the water will straight away go to the aquifer. And if it is excessive heat, too much of evaporation is happening, then the water will be pulled out from the aquifer to the water body. So this is what is happening in the bottom with the earth. Okay, so every water body, every natural water body is a natural rainwater harvesting apparatus. So you restore a water body to its natural best, and your problem of depleting underground water table will be solved. Okay. Now coming on to the next part, which is air. So every water body is doing a consistent exchange with the air as well.
Yes.
Now what is that exchange? The top surface of the water body is negatively charged and it attracts all the particulate matter, which we call as pollution, right? What is the AQI, the air quality index? It is
Yeah.
the concentration of PM 2.5, PM 5 and PM 10. This PM is particulate matter that gets attracted by a water body naturally. You don't need any apparatus for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so all the pollution is gone. This is just the take from the air. Now what
The
is the
moment
give?
air touches the water, because the moment it will come in contact with the water, water will absorb whatever pollution are there. I
Right.
think very simple.
Now this is the take from the atmosphere. What is the give to the atmosphere? Whenever the water body receives sunlight, there is a photosynthesis that happens within the water.
Yeah.
And when the photosynthesis happen within the water, it will first add to the dissolved oxygen level. And when the production is beyond the holding capacity of water, it will be emitted in the air. So it will supply air with a lot of oxygen. More than 50% of the atmospheric oxygen is generated out of water bodies. That most of the people would not be knowing, so they can just Google it and they will understand that it is the water bodies which are generating more than 50% of the atmospheric oxygen. So the moment we restore the water body to its natural best, you'll have all the fresh air filled with oxygen and the entire particulate matter will be gone. So
That's why
this is,
probably the coastal areas might be better off.
yes, if you look at the AQI of the coastal cities, you will
Yes.
always find them to be better than their landlocked cities.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so this is the solution to the three unsolved urban problems,
Urban. Yeah.
right?
Which is every day we are seeing these problems.
Yeah. Now just imagine last Diwali, the AQI for Delhi was beyond 2000, whereas beyond 500, most of the scales get failed.
Hmm. Absolutely. And then we talk of rural, then we come to the rural areas.
Okay, rural areas we have killed ourselves. The green revolution and the white revolution, that has actually been an attack on the rural economy or the rural autonomy
Hmm.
because rural was a self-sustainable economy model. Now, the moment we introduced mechanical and the chemical-based farming, everything started to get derailed in the rural economy. And today, if you look at India into the rural landscape, number one, we see the farmers are committing suicide because of the financial burden, right? Now, just
Yeah.
imagine 1965 when we were having a 65 war with Pakistan. The Prime Minister of India said, "Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan." We were a
Yes.
very financially weak nation at that point in time,
Yeah.
and our farmers were happy. Now our GDP has gone up multiple times, and the farmers are committing suicide. Now, how is it practically possible that a agrarian economy like India has gone up multiple times, and the farmer, who was the base of the economy, has become so poor that due to financial burden he is committing suicide, right? So
Mhm.
what we have changed is, number one, the way we farm. Whatever
Yes.
we have adopted was not sustainable. That is why within 50 years, while the nation has become rich, this is the condition of the rural economy, right? That is just one problem. There is another problem. Drinking water crisis is there in all the villages we have, because we are doing a lot of mining and we are exposing all the minerals which are supposed to be beneath the earth are now above the earth. That is why on western side we have the fluoride problem, on the eastern side we have the arsenic problem. So while
Yes.
you God made India as a water abundant country, but in the year 2019 government of India is creating a Jal Shakti Mantralaya for creating water. you know
Yes.
now we are a water stressed country. Over 54% of the country is having a water stress, and over 22% of the underground aquifer is depleted, already dried. And this is not my statement, this is the statement of Jal Shakti Mantri, right? So if the minister is giving you that input, obviously it has been very well researched by the government departments and all, right? So this is another problem, the drinking water crisis. Of course, when you don't have water to drink, what water you will offer to the animal husbandry that you're doing and to the crop that you're growing, right? So of course there is an irrigation problem, and because of all these problems, because of lack of livelihood in the rural landscape, people are moving to the cities. Now,
Hmm.
when people are doing an exodus to the cities, obviously the cities are also getting crumpled under the population burst, right? So if a city was designed for, let's say, a population of 1 crore people, and you have a population of 5 crore, what new need gets generated is smart cities, right? Now every smart city is calling for a lot of investments, right? So that is why Modi ji has come up with a concept of creating smart cities and Amrit cities. Amrit cities are about 400, smart cities are about 100, and they're pumping in money for all this, right? Now, if you reinstate the rural economy, the kind of resources that you have in villages, the exodus will stop. Today,
Hmm.
if you ask any farmer, he would not be happy to promote his next generation to become a farmer. Why? Only because farming has become a loss making proposition. Now just imagine, for a country of 130 crore people, if nobody farms, then what will happen?
Yes.
Now with anyone anywhere selling concept, which has just been amended during this COVID era, that anybody can grow anywhere and sell anywhere, this is going to boost corporate farming for sure, right?
Yes.
So even for the food, the rule will be there for the corporate houses, right? So the idea is basically, when you talk of the rural economy, it can be reinstated provided we have a sustainable solution for rural livelihood, for drinking water, a better farming practice, a profitable farm, which
Yes.
includes your agriculture, horticulture, apiculture, any kind of animal farm like dairy, poultry, fishery, piggery, goatry, right? All that needs to be reinstated. But for all that, the core, the central point is water.
Water. Yeah.
So
That's why
that's
at
how.
times people think the next world war is going to be on water. At times
Yeah.
that is okay. Now, like this is what we have discussed, like importance of water, importance of ecology.
Yeah.
But like whatever you are doing,
Yeah.
is beneficial to industries also. Somewhere it has to become commercially viable, and industries must look for different way of treating water or restoring ecology, because NGT norms are also very strong these days.
Yeah. So NGT has come up with a very noble concept called ZLD, zero liquid discharge. Now,
Yes.
zero liquid discharge, I have recently written an article which has been published by the Smart Water magazine in Spain.
Yeah, I read
Uh,
that.
you've gone through it, okay?
Yeah.
Now, ZLD is basically I've termed it as law of nature. Why it is law of nature is because in nature there is no concept of waste, right? Waste
Okay.
for one is actually usable for another. So nothing goes waste in the nature. Whatever has been taken out of the nature has to be returned back to the nature in some other form, right? Now,
Okay.
the ZLD for the industries is basically a norm which is supposed to enforce that they stop wasting water. Now, typically in the industries, what will happen is if they are taking a daily supply of, let's say, 10 million liters of water from the government water supply, or whether it is borewell or anything, uh,
Yes.
they will consume just about 1 million liter of water, and 9 million liter of water will be wasted. How it is
Yes.
wasted is they need to wash whatever they're making, like let us suppose for the fabric industry they need to dye, for the paper
Yes.
industry they need to wash the paper pulp, uh, for let us suppose for industry which is doing kind of power generation, they use water for temperature control. They also
Yes.
use water for heating, like steam is a
Yes.
better proposition for heating up rather than giving a direct heat. So steam can be controlled, and then temperature can be controlled by using water as a coolant. Now all this will waste water, right? How water is wasted is because of the sudden rise and sudden dip in the temperature. Water becomes a good environment for the algal bloom. So whenever there is a algal growth in the water, that cannot be used into the pipeline, so that water
Yes.
gets wasted, right?
Absolutely.
So all this wastage of water needs to be controlled and finished. How it can be done is what NGT is talking about in the ZLD concept is, if you're taking 10 million liters per day and you're wasting 9 million liters per day, what we will enforce is from next day you will get only 1 million liter. So by
Hmm.
default, you will have to utilize those 9 million liters which you are otherwise wasting, right? So how to do it? They have to set up an ETP plant, which is effluent treatment plant. Now, effluent treatment plant in itself does not solve the problem, because they can correct the water as per pollution control board parameters, but that water is still not fit to be reused.
Hmm.
So with our process, what will happen is all the wastewater will come into a natural water body. There we
Yes.
can treat, and we can make it back to what it was before it came into the industry. So that is how this water can be recycled. Now this
Is
is
it?
one portion of the industry. There are plenty of other things which industries would need, like if you talk about the mining industry, as I told you, when they are doing a mining, they go about 1000 feet deep, and
Uh,
1000 feet deep in the earth crust means you are exposing all the minerals which are supposed to be beneath the soil. They have come up to the soil. So there is a acid formation. The abandoned quarries you will find to be filled of acids, right? Now that can also be restored by restoring the natural ecology in the abandoned mines, right? So that will also be returning the nature's requirement back to the nature, and that's how it will be restored. So there are plenty of things which can be done for the industries using the
But
natural
is it
part.
like otherwise people use filters, machinery, chemicals. So is your process slow, economically viable? Is it? Could you explain that, or is it?
See, I'll tell you, my process is the fastest possible process on earth. Why?
Okay,
Because what is working for me is, we call it Bhagwan.
okay,
Bhagwan is there with us, and the Bhagwan we say is a acronym. Bha is for Bhumi,
okay.
Ga is for Gagan, A is for Agni, Na is for Neer, and Va is for Vayu, right?
ये तो
So
पांचों वो हो गए.
yeah, so these are the five key elements of life on the planet, right?
Yes.
So nothing is more effective and more mightier than the nature itself. I mean, whatever kind of cities we build, just one tsunami is good enough to destroy whatever we have built, right?
Yeah.
So it is that mighty a force which is working with us. Now, to give you a real life example, you'll say whatever I'm talking is philosophy. Let me give you one good example. There was one water body in which people have been working for last about 8 years, and they've invested about 850 crores.
Oh,
And in spite of all that, they have not been able to remove the foul smell out of the water
like
body.
Chhattisgarh or which area?
This was in Gujarat.
Gujarat,
Okay.
right.
Now,
Hmm.
for us to remove the foul smell out of a natural water body is a matter of mere 8 hours.
Oh,
What people have not been able to do in 8 years is what we can do in 8 hours flat.
very
And this
interesting.
and this is proven.
I mean, that is why that is why it is very good for that we got you here on this platform that people should know that because normal concept is something like कि धीरे धीरे होगा कब होगा
Yeah.
6 महीने लगेंगे फिल्टर लगाओ रातों रात हो जाएगा चालू हो जाएगा फिर फिल्टर वो बात अलग है कि every 6 months you timely you got to keep changing the filters you got to do the regular maintenance there's the electricity expenditure involved there's so many things get involved with that and here it's absolutely very pleasant surprise good surprise
You know,
and
about the
sustainable.
membrane filters, you were just
Hmm.
mentioning about the membrane filters. This is one of the most widely used technologies for water filtration, the membrane filters, right? Now,
Yes, yes.
we all believe that this is a modern science, this is a modern technology. You know, there was a shlok in Arthashastra.
Hmm.
Chanakya had written it in about 300 before Christ. That means we are talking about 2,500 years back. And
Yeah.
that shlok said, "Vastraputam jalam pibet." That means पानी पीने से पहले कपड़े से छान लेना चाहिए, right? So membrane filtration is something that we know for last 2,500 years. But the beauty of it is, in our scriptures, it says use it only once. Okay.
Oh,
Now, any membrane, I mean, I'm talking about pure logic. Any membrane, if it has filtered the water once, obviously the pores will get choked
clogged.
because of
Yes.
the purity, right?
Yeah.
Now, the next time if you're using the same filter, either you have to increase the water pressure, which means the impurities which had choked the pores will also pass on. So next
Yeah.
time water will not be the pure, right?
Hmm.
And in case if you don't increase the pressure of the water, it will not pass through the filter at all. So it will the water itself will get choked.
In
So
our RO at home, we got to get it serviced regularly. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
yeah. So for RO, let me tell you, the RO water is not healthy water, and I guess NGT just last week had given some sort of instruction to government of India to get
Okay.
India RO free by 31st December 2020.
I think you are the one because the moment, what I'm saying is, the
Yeah.
moment you have the clean water in ponds, rivers, by the natural way, you don't
Mm.
need RO. The body needs those minerals, body needs certain elements which are part of the
Right.
water. And
Right.
it deprives us everything. And the moment the natural way of water is restored, it makes sense to drink it directly. We have been drinking it in our childhood, directly from hand pump or tap.
Now let me give you something which is very, very contemporary for today's talk, and that is the COVID crisis, right?
Yes.
Now, we all know that the COVID crisis has come and there is absolutely no cure, no vaccine so far. But we also know that the recovery rate in India is beyond 50%, right?
Hmm.
Now, how are these 57% patients getting cured? It is because of the natural immunity of the body, right?
Yes.
Now, where does the natural immunity come out of? It comes out of whatever we eat, whatever we
Yeah.
breathe, and whatever we drink, right? Now, let's come on to the drink part. Human body has been designed in such a way that our entire defense mechanism is dependent on A, our nervous system, and B, our endocrine gland system, right? The
Hmm.
communication between endocrine gland system and the nervous system is on electrical impulses.
Okay.
Electrical impulses will only work when there is a complete electrolyte balance into the human body, and these electrolytes are supposed to come out of water. Okay.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
when we are drinking RO water, we are drinking demineralized water, which means the electrolyte balance is not there at all. So now we know that the global health crisis or the herd immunity which has gone down is only because of the RO water that we are drinking, and we are not drinking the natural water with absolute electrolyte balance.
Yeah.
So you
I-
get the reason for
I-
the COVID crisis as well.
yeah. And it is it is every day. This is happening in every household. Let me tell you
Yeah,
this. It's
yeah,
every household. So just quickly, we just how's your past experience of IT? Has it helped you in this venture?
yeah. It has helped me a lot. Basically, because for the research, if you say, definitely internet has helped us a lot, because we were the one who were creating the internet at some point in time way back in 95, and the
Yeah.
same internet has given us the resources for the research. So
Hmm.
the rare books which were otherwise not available are now made available because of the internet. So that is one help that it has done. Secondly, the go to market strategy which we have for cownomics is all completely partner based. Now, Vedic Cownomics Private Limited is going to focus only on the research part. So we will continue to do our research. This is one of the first solutions that we have come up with. There are plenty of other solutions because the research on the Vedic science is on. I mean, just to
Okay.
give you a glimpse of it, we are doing a research on a fuel-less car. We are doing a research on a non-equipment based communication, which is a brainwave communication, and
Okay.
this used to exist in the Vedic era within our country. And we're doing a research on the memory of water. So all this was a part of our Vedic scriptures, which we are doing a research on. Uh, when we come up with the solution, we'll present it to the market. So because of all this research, our focus is there primarily on the research side. So our entire go-to-market strategy is depending on the partners. So we don't work in any of the cases. All the projects that we have done is all through partners. So when we will grow with the partners.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is completely our IT experience. We understood from the IT experience, we understood the concept of partner ecology. how to build a partner ecology. There were flaws into that partner model, which we have consciously worked upon, and we have eradicated all the problems. Like India was a land of entrepreneurs in the Vedic era, right?
Yeah.
So that is why, because we created gold as the exchange currency. There was no universal dollar at that point in time, and that is how India became Sone ki Chidiya, because we were getting gold as the currency from everywhere. India has got
Yes.
only 2% of the gold mines of the global mines, right? And
Yes.
still India was the golden bird. So what we are doing consciously into the Cowonomics partner model is, every partner is a partner who's an entrepreneur, and he doesn't have to invest even a single rupee of cash into this business. So we are building entrepreneurs across the country.
Interesting.
So that's how it has helped.
I think people should will get in touch with you. I'm sure once this message is there. So, but how do you monitor quality? How do you train your staff? How do you? There's so many projects you have already done, and the number of projects are in hand with you. So, and how do you ensure quality there? I mean, because at times a user, that is also one of the concern of the user.
I'll tell you, the process is very simple. Uh, the way we have designed our solution is, the ease of execution is so simple that unskilled person can also do it. We have made a concentrate which we give to our partners. They
Hmm.
get a water tanker of the fresh water, they dilute the concentrate and release it into the water body, and the rejuvenation process starts, right? So there are only two steps involved as far as the
Okay.
execution of the project is concerned, right? Now what varies is the concentrate.
Yes.
Making of the concentrate is our baby, right? Now as per the Vedic science, every water body is a different ecology. The soil
Yes.
chemistry is different, the water chemistry is different, the air chemistry is different. Within India we have 39 agroclimatic zones. So within
Hmm.
every agroclimatic zone, everything will change. So that is why concentrate will vary from one water body to another, and
Yes.
that headache we have kept to ourselves. I mean, we
Yeah.
will be studying all the water bodies before we propose a solution, and that is how it is getting executed. So there is not much of a training required. Just concentrate, dilute, and release in the water body.
So, with this technology and what
Yeah.
you said, RO and stopping RO and this technology, I
Yeah.
mean, I just noted down this question is how much time do you estimate to restore the natural water abundance for the entire country?
Given a chance, within a year, I can do that across the country.
Within a year.
Yes.
Okay. That's very interesting. I think we'll tag this video to the people at the highest level. Yes, this is interesting. That is very good. And in a natural way.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
In a
100%
sustainable way.
Vedic science, 100% indigenous solution. People used to say, when I was there in the IT industry, and I used to interact with people from different countries, and I used to tell that, okay, India has been a great civilization, and we are the only continuous surviving civilization for last 25,000 years, and we were a knowledge civilization. People used to ask me, what is the invention that India has done, right?
Yes. Even
Unfortunately, in
I,
last
I
400
also
years,
asked to ask the same thing. Yeah.
I used to answer that whatever you perceive as a Western invention is actually, if you get into the roots, you will find it to be an Indian. Because whether it is fiber optics, it is Sardar Naren Singh Kapani from Moga, Punjab, who invented the single mode fiber. The
Okay.
email system is Shiva Ayadurai, who invented when he was 14 years old. Yes, he was there in US, but he is an Indian. But those were thus just the face saving answers, because all this was done on Western science in Western
Yes.
countries by Indians, right?
Yes.
Now I have the answer to the world. This is 100% Indian, this is 100% Vedic, and this is the solution with which all the global problems, including climate change, including global warming, including the food crisis and the water crisis, the antimicrobial resistance which has cropped up recently, all these
Yes.
problems we can solve with Cownomics technology. This is the Indian invention.
So, yeah, and absolutely very, very proud. And is this water stress limited to India or is it global stress?
No, it is a
What's
global
the
stressor.
situation in developed countries like US, UK, Japan, Europe? What's the
See,
situation there?
the situation is equally bad everywhere because nobody's got a solution for sewage, for air pollution, and the depleting underground water table. Like, let's say if we talk about US, California desertification is happening because of the water crisis. All the rivers have got antibiotics flowing in the rivers. Like
Hmm.
if you talk about Navajo Nation in Arizona, the entire surface water is contaminated with nuclear radiations, right? If you talk about Japan, they have got a nuclear power plant within the sea. So there is some or the other radiation leaking out of it, and the sea water is also getting contaminated with this thing, radiations. If you talk about Europe, there again the problem remains the same, right? So it is not just limited to India. Water crisis is everywhere because across the globe nobody understands water like our Vedic science. People take water as H2O, right? Two
Yes.
atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen, right?
Yeah.
Whereas into our scheme of things, into the Vedic science, we take water as the key ingredient of the life. Without water, there is no source of life on the planet. Life began in water, and this is very well accepted by modern science also. When they are searching for extraterrestrial life, they are only searching for water, right?
Water.
So they accepted that the water is the source of life, but water is only H2O, right? And that is where they are going wrong, because for all the water treatment across the globe, all the ideologies say 95% of the wastewater is pure water, only 5% is the impurities, only 5% is the contamination. So you take out this 5%, and 95% as it is pure, right? That is where they're going wrong, because water in a natural water body is never cleaned physically. All the impurities are consumed by the aqua ecology, consumed
Yes.
and digested, right? So if you're trying to remove anything physically out of water, you are basically not following the natural path. Now, you would have seen the newspapers during this lockdown period. Everybody was reporting that the rivers are getting cleaned. Why was it getting cleaned? It is only because water has got its own self-healing capacity. Water can consume the pollution, but our extent of pollution generation is
Yes.
beyond the cleaning
Yes.
capacity. So what
Yeah.
we have done into our science is we have understood this process of water consuming the impurities, and we have worked upon enhancing this capacity to match the level of pollution that we are creating. That is why it
Okay.
is natural, that is why it is ecological, and that is why it is the fastest and the most sustainable process on the planet.
Okay. This is interesting. I mean, it's something like continue to restore balance. The more
Yes.
impurities are coming, then you are, and you are right. When we talk of removing the impurities, वो कहाँ जाएंगी? वो तो कहीं रहेगा ना. That thing will be dumped somewhere. You find that mountains of it's just impurities and everywhere in Delhi and in every city because we don't know where to dump those things.
See,
Anyway,
on one hand, we are doing mining and we are digging hole in the earth. On the other hand, we are creating garbage mountains.
garbage mountains, absolutely. Just like you were mentioning about your articles in Spanish magazine, Smart Water magazine. So I think then I realized that you are in top three authors of the top three global authors of the magazine. This is very, very a proud moment, and then very good to have you here. Could you just share that ZLD was one thing which you just mentioned? There's another thing I was reading about the mines part you had mentioned.
Yes, sir.
And what are the themes of these articles? Something about the magazine you can bring out.
See, mining is one of the most polluting industries on the planet. So
Mm-hmm.
they are not just polluting when they are doing the mining, even when they have stopped mining in that time also they are polluting. Because as I said,
Okay.
the heavy metals, the minerals, everything will come up to the surface. And when it rains, water gets collected into these pits. Now
Okay,
this
these
water
abundant mines, you mean?
yeah, yeah.
No,
So
okay.
this water which is collected into the abandoned mines, that is pure toxic water. So if any organism is drinking that water, whether it is animal or human, there'll be multiple organ failures because of the high concentration of the heavy metals. Right now, the problem is nobody's got a solution for this. It is again an unsolvable problem. Now, people are doing
Hmm.
research across the globe on solving this problem.
Hmm.
The way our solution solve this problem is when we restore the ecology,
Hmm.
the kind of organisms which are supposed to be there in that deep, they get revived, and when they get revived, you will be astonished to know that most of the people get amused by the fact that there are metal eating microbes,
Okay.
there are iron breathing microbes, there are sulfur eating microbes, and the poisonous of all they feel is arsenic. There are arsenic eating microbes as well, right? If you know the history of the planet.
It's interesting.
So when you revive ecology, all those heavy metals get consumed by the natural ecology itself. Now, why are the mines having so much of ore? It is only because of the microbial activities. I mean, the
Hmm.
fixation of all the 108 elements of the periodic table is
Hmm.
done naturally. Why are there 108 elements? It is only because of the nature.
Yeah.
So nature has
And
got a process of creation, so they have a process of consumption as well.
yes, that's how the balance remains.
Yeah,
That's how कोई पैदा कर रहा है, कोई पाल रहा है, कोई destroy कर रहा है. That is
exactly.
circle remains.
Exactly. Right.
And anything for global warming or climate change, you would like to give a message for that? There's the last
See,
one before we take on the questions from the audience.
global warming and climate change is all because of the disturbances that we have created into the natural ecology. If we restore the ecology, everything will come back to normal. The way we are creating imbalance is plenty. I mean, we are polluting through industry, we are polluting even through agriculture. You know, the kind of pesticide, insecticide, urea, the fertilizers that we are using, that is contaminating the soil ecology. When it rains, all these chemicals will flow into the natural water body, so that will contaminate the aqua ecology. And when the soil and water ecology are disturbed, obviously the air pollution will also increase. So everything is linked. You know, we had a concept of vasudhaiv kutumbakam. That is
Yes,
exactly what we were explaining, that everything on the planet is linked.
this is good. This is interesting. And in fact, I think there are a lot of people who are really impressed. There are a lot of good comments I was seeing. There's only one question has come up from his Brigadier Umar Farooq, actually. Do you recommend any home solution of purification of water in place of commercially available RO? Because we are talking of removing RO, so anything uh, which you can think of.
No, ecology is holistic, sir. Ecology is not individual. So we cannot have a separatist attitude when it comes to ecology. So even if we
Mhm.
are doing a rainwater harvesting, it is for the entire community. It is not for individual houses.
Mhm.
So For individual RO systems, we don't have any solution. We can restore the natural water body in almost all the communities across the globe.
Yeah, this is by Captain Shashi Bhushan Tyagi. So with the present regime of carbon credits tracing the carbon footprint, the whole world is going harsh and aggressive against carbon emissions. In such situation where cow's byproduct-based economy fits in, especially when cow is blamed to emit highest methane.
That is just a misconception, sir. What we believe as a clean energy is the hydropower plant, and into the hydropower plant we are restricting the water in a place where naturally it is not supposed to be collected.
Yes.
You know, the greenhouse gas emission from a hydropower plant is contributing towards 67% of the methane globally produced,
Okay.
and about 48% of the carbon dioxide globally produced. So you imagine how many hydropower plants do we have across the globe, and you can understand from where the greenhouse gas emission is happening, right? So on one hand, we say we are going for clean energy and renewable energy, but this is what is happening. I mean, just because our understanding is not holistic about the nature, right?
Yes.
There are
It's great.
research papers, you can Google it, on the greenhouse gas emission out of the reservoirs of hydropower plants.
Okay. This is good. And I think I have come to the end of our discussion, and there are a number of comments. We can just quickly go through some good comments which are there. Uh, And really, thank you so much, Madhukar. I'm really grateful to you for sparing your time and enlightening us with a different perception and making us feel proud of our heritage and rich heritage and culture. I mean, tremendous knowledge what we have, which probably people don't believe. And this is with the proof and with the science and the technology. If you're using Vedic science to as a technology to restore ecology, it's amazing. And thank you so much, Madhukar. Any last word you want to convey to the people, you can say. I was really grateful to you for having spared your time and enlightening all of us. Very insightful.
No, sir, pleasure is all mine that you invited me for a talk, and I can see a lot of comments which are coming in, and all are very positive motivations. So we'll continue to do our job, and I'm sure we all will be proud of our own technology very soon. There are plenty of things that we're working on, and we will prove it to the people that Vedic science is the most holistic science on the planet, and this is the only sustainable way forward.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Madhukar. Thank you very much for being here from
Thank you.
the each one of us. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.